Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
On a Friday morning, everybody's looking kind of chipper.
Cheers.
Tab, really?
He's got her tab.
Look like an endorsement.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. She will endorse Tab.
They don't make it anymore, but my friend has a stash. So I got a 12-pack for Christmas.
All right.
Good for you. Scarcity adds value.
Yes, it does.
So, Andrew, are we set up?
Like we have everyone but Karen, but you are live and you are recording. So you're ready to go.
Okay. Well, it's 4 minutes after 8, and I know we've got folks that have to go other places. So why don't we go ahead and call our meeting to order, please? Let's see. Willow, could I ask you to say the pledge for us this morning?
Sure. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Thank you. Tracy, I'm going to assume since we're back on Zoom, you have an electronic roll call available for you.
Yes, sir, that'll work.
Okay, good. Each of us, we have an abbreviated agenda this morning. And of course, as a special called meeting, we can only deal with those issues that are listed on our agenda. But you have a copy of the minutes of our last regularly scheduled meeting. Is there a motion for approval of those minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Willow.
Second.
Thank you, Tammy. If there are no questions about the minutes, all in favor say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Thank you. The minutes are approved. Item 4 on our agenda, delighted to have Jack Connor on the Zoom call with us this morning with a resolution approving the sale of property in Lanes Run Business Park. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning. Good morning, Council. Good morning, Mayor. Shall I proceed, please?
Please.
Thank you. On behalf of the Georgetown Business Park Authority and Scott County United, I'm really pleased to report yesterday the Business Park Authority approved a contract in the amount of 12.88 acres plus or minus on Enterprise Way at Lanes Run Business Park. This will be in phase 2. I'll get up a map in just a moment, but let me just kind of verbalize it, if I may, Andrew, first. The project is, right now, I'm calling it a NICS code in relationship to a potential incentive that went through KITFA yesterday, Kentucky Economic Development Finance Authority. So it's NICS code 332996. Which is fabricated pipe and pipe fitting manufacturing. The client is one that we have worked with in the past. We in fact had a contract before City Council in 2018, and they had to back out of the contract for business reasons, but are now coming back to us. The project, the initial project, is 107,000 square foot manufacturing facility with a 6,000 square foot office. We are also showing, and will show on the preliminary development plan that we'll go through, an additional small amount of office space, as well as an additional 50,000 square foot expansion. So the 12.88 acres satisfies the need, not just for the immediate 107,000, but also for the 50,000 square foot expansion. As I indicated, they're going through a Kentucky Business Investment Act incentive. That was done yesterday afternoon. The assumption is that it will be made public today. So the company's name and all that will be made available. I can tell you that they have currently between 45 and 50 employees in another area. Those will be moving with the company once construction is complete. The Kentucky Business Investment Act states 25 jobs will be available for the incentive itself. So we're talking about a $12.7 million investment and 25 jobs. They'll be under KBI, and the additional ones will move with it. You have on your screen right now the 12.88 plus or minus acre that's bounded by the yellow. That's the site we're referring to. If you look due north of that, you go and see scary out equipment. To the left, the flat area is actually already complete. That's Commonwealth Tool and Machine. Thank you, Andrew. You can see Commonwealth Tool, and then there's SEC Echo Fiber up on Corporate Boulevard, what we call lot 45. And please, we don't have lots, we just create lots, but the lot 45 is in fact the area for this particular client. We are moving to tech review on Tuesday with the client. That's when all the utilities will look at it. I'm really excited about the project. In particular, Mayor and Council, it's a project that we've had before. This is again an existing company. So this is existing plus expansion and retention, and it's all coming to Scott County. So when it's complete, we should be at a minimum of 75 jobs, and a very growth-oriented company out of Michigan. I can go, let me just real quickly say this. We do have some contingencies in the contract, which is normal. So preliminary development plan approval is one of those. We do have to do a rezoning because some of this land, we own all the land. The city owns all the land, but we do need to rezone some on the south side that is zoned R1, and then we have some other that's zoned A1. That is it in a nutshell. Very happy to present it to you. Contracts have been signed by Mr. Menke and by the company, and I will forward those to Ms. Golden, the city attorney, today or Monday, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
For council's benefit, I think this is a situation that Jack has been working on for 2 or 3 years.
That is correct, sir.
So getting to this morning's point of actually asking for your permission to sell the land is a great big step for us. Jack, I assume it looks like from the map then all of these 12.88 acres are in phase 2 of the business park?
Yes, sir. That is absolutely correct.
So this will be at the rate of $35,000 an acre.
I apologize. I meant to mention that. So it is $35,000 an acre, and assuming it's 12.88, that is in excess of $450,000, which will be generated just in terms of the land sales, let alone as we go forward with ad valorem tax, occupational tax, et cetera. Thank you, sir, for reminding me that.
Yeah, just for to remind council, we've got available lots in phase 1, not very many, but when we sell a lot in phase 1, those proceeds go to pay off the city's remaining debt on Lanes Run Business Park. Sales in phase 2 simply go into the Lanes Run Business Park Development Fund so that we can help fund some of our future development from the sales that we're making now.
Mayor, I'd
So,
like to make a motion for approval, and congratulations, Jack, on
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
landing this company. I know you've worked long and hard to get it done. Sometimes that's what it takes, just
Exactly right. Yes, sir.
on and off, and it's sometimes it can be a long, tedious challenge, but this sounds outstanding. And I've heard just bits and rumors about this, and I've been told that there's some pretty good paying jobs that go along with this. So
I don't mind sharing this, that the average wage is $30 an hour. If you add benefits onto that, it's $51 an hour.
Yeah. Great jobs. So David, thank you for that motion.
I'll second that motion. And again, congratulations, Jack. That's pretty awesome. Thank you.
It's a team effort. It's a team effort.
Thank you. Well, good. Any other questions for Jack? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Then that carries. Jack, congratulations. Good luck with your client.
Thank you, sir. You all have a great day. Thank you.
We'll do it.
Bye-bye.
Item 5 on our agenda is first reading of an amendment to the solid waste ordinance that allows us to do all the things that we've anticipated doing with the privatization. It requires this. This has been a dream for some for a very long time. And I know the committee has worked exceptionally hard for us to be at this stage of the process. And very pleased to have first reading of this amendment to the solid waste ordinance sponsored by Mr. Stone and Mr. Hampton. Tracy?
An ordinance amending Chapter 40, Article 2 of the Georgetown Code of Ordinances regarding solid waste collection and disposal. Summary. 1. Amend Section 40-23 of the Georgetown Code of Ordinances to provide for collection and disposal of solid waste via exclusive franchise and provides a penalty for violation thereof. 2. Establishes consistency by including references to exclusive solid waste franchisee throughout the article. 3. States that the penalty for solid waste services delinquencies shall be the same as the charge assessed for delinquent water and sewer fees. 4. Provides that GMWSS shall remit to the city fees and penalties for solid waste services on at least a quarterly basis. 5. Indicates that the rate for collection shall be provided in the franchise agreement with the exclusive solid waste franchisee. 6. The full text of the ordinance, Section 40-32B, reads, persons, firms, or corporations collecting solid waste from dumpsters shall first obtain a non-exclusive franchise from the city. Each franchisee shall pay to the city a sum equal to 20% annually of the gross service revenues of the franchise for services generated within the city limits. Such sums shall be reported and paid quarterly on or before 30 days following March 31st, June 30th, September 30th, and December 31st of each year, and provide a copy of such report to the city finance director. Each franchisee shall submit annually a certified statement from a certified public accountant of its gross revenues received within the city limits or such other information as may be reasonably required by the City Revenue Commission from time to time. The business records of each franchisee shall be open and available to audit by the city clerk and the City Revenue Commission or its designee at all reasonable times to determine compliance with this section. 7. Provides for repeal of inconsistent laws, severability of provisions, and an effective date of February 1, 2022, and upon passage of publication. The full text of this ordinance is available for examination in the City Clerk's Office, 100 North Fort Street, Georgetown, Kentucky, 40324, or at www.georgetownky.gov. Introduced and publicly read for the first time December 10th, 2021.
Thank you, Tracy. As is always the case, that'll be first reading, and we anticipate second reading at Monday night's council meeting. So we can get all this in place. Item 6 on your agenda is first reading. Yes, first reading of the solid waste franchise ordinance, sponsored again by Mr. Stone and Mr. Hampton. Just an update for the council here. Apparently the approval process that Republic has to go through for the change in the franchise amount is a lengthy or more complicated corporate process, and we do not have that information back from Republic yet. We believe that they're still committed to our transaction, and they've indicated they are, but we do not have their final approval on the changed franchise percentage amounts that we're getting ready to have the ordinance for. We're going to proceed with today's first reading and Monday's second reading with the assumption that we get that finalized with Republic, but we have not yet. Anything to add to that, Devin?
No, I think you covered it well. I think they've expressed that they're still committed to this relationship, but I guess higher channels have a more extensive review, and we hope to get a final answer on that today.
Sounds good. With that said, Tracy, could you go ahead with first reading of the solid waste franchise ordinance, please?
Yes, sir. An ordinance related to the granting of a franchise for the provision of solid waste and recycling collection service within the city limits of Georgetown. Summary. 1. Awards an exclusive solid waste collection service franchise to Republic Services of Kentucky, LLC. 2. The full text of the ordinance, section 4 reads, as compensation for the franchise created and awarded through this ordinance, the city shall receive a franchise fee of 20% of Republic's collected gross receipts from all residential solid waste collection, recycling collection, disposal service, and other activities conducted under the franchise. 3. Authorizes the mayor to sign the franchise agreement. 4. Provides for repeal of inconsistent laws, severability of provisions, and an effective date of February 1, 2022, and upon passage and publication. The full text of this ordinance is available for examination in the city clerk's office, 100 North Court Street, Georgetown, Kentucky, 40324, or at www.georgetownky.gov. Introduced and publicly read for the first time December 10th, 2021.
Thank you. That'll be first reading, and we'll proceed. Regardless, we'll proceed Monday with our second reading and consideration.
Mayor?
And just to assure, yes, ma'am.
It said all residential. Did we not include commercial on that?
I think that was in the first ordinance.
The first, but it didn't need to be in the.
Are you talking about the franchise fee? That was amended in the actual solid waste code. So that was in the first ordinance. Yeah.
Okay. I just heard you when you read it, you said for all residential on that second, and I didn't know if it needed to be included there as well. But
No, we're good.
Okay. Thank you.
Just to assure the council, we have been in we've been in daily contact seeking a response from Republic. Even with Devin and Andrew have notified them about this special called meeting and our final action on Monday, and they understand how hard we're working on this and the time sensitive nature of it, and we just don't have an answer. Let's see, item 7 on the agenda is first reading of an amendment to our 911 fee ordinance, sponsored by Ms. Tackett and Mr. Lusby. The purpose of this ordinance will be to clarify the 5% fee that the 911 activity will pay the water company for that administrative service. We're just getting clarity on each of these steps as we go through. Tracy?
An ordinance amending City of Georgetown Ordinance Number 2020-13 to provide for a maximum administrative fee of 5% to be retained by Georgetown Municipal Water and Sewer Service for the collection of the 911 service fee. Summary. 1. Amends Ordinance 2020-13 to provide for a maximum administrative fee of 5%. 2. Provides for repeal of inconsistent ordinances, severability of provisions, and an effective date upon passage and publication. The full text of this ordinance is available for examination in the city clerk's office, 100 North Court Street, Georgetown, Kentucky, 40324, or at www.georgetownky.gov. Introduced and publicly read for the first time December 10th, 2021.
Thank you. That will be our first reading. And finally, item 8 on our agenda is first reading of an amendment to our boards and commissions ordinance. What we're trying to achieve here is to very specifically and openly make sure the council understands their authority in making board appointments for multiple terms. Historically, we have followed an ordinance where we give board appointees, council allows board appointees 2 full terms of office on a board or commission, and then they're asked to rotate off. We've learned that ordinance does not apply to tourism, That's a state, there are state guidelines there. And those are 3-year terms and they do not have limits on them. We know that specifically the airport board by state statute is not term limited. And we use that flexibility to reappoint Martin Thomas recently to a 3rd term because of his importance to some projects that that board is involved in right now. And we wanted the continuity. On Monday night, we're going to make a whole series of board appointments with an executive order that you'll be asked to approve. 2 of those appointments that are on the executive order for Monday night will be folks that we're asking to serve a 3rd term on a regular 4-year board because of the very specific circumstances that I think they need to be there. One, I'm going to ask I've asked Les Jarvis to serve a 3rd term on the Georgetown Municipal Water and Sewer Service Board of Commissioners, just given the amount of transactions that they have underway, and Les can provide Chase with some continuity there. So that is one. The other is the chairman of our Ethics Commission is getting ready to rotate off after 2 terms. And we would like for her to serve a 3rd term since we're getting ready to appoint several new members to the Ethics Commission. We think that continuity is important. So that is the reason we're coming back with this ordinance amendment to give you the specific ability to do that rather than wondering if you have that authority. Devin, is that an adequate explanation?
Yes, I think you covered it. The one other change, it's not really a change, it's more a point of clarification. Mayor and Andrew worked really hard on organizing and assessing our boards and commissions and making those more transparent to the public. And in the course of that, we ran over the residency requirement thing. So some of them are enumerated, Scott County residency or Georgetown residency. And so we thought it fitting to clarify that unless specifically stated, there's not a residency requirement. The default is that there's no requirement, but we would provide that specifically in cases where the council thought that was important. So those are the only changes to that ordinance.
Thank you. Any questions about those proposed changes before we ask Tracy to do first reading? Mostly housekeeping for what we're going to do Monday. Tracy?
An ordinance amending Georgetown Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Article 5, Division 1 regarding boards and commissions. Summary 1, clarifies that there is no residency requirement for city-appointed boards and commissions unless expressly provided via ordinance or statute. 2, provides that residency requirements shall be satisfied at the time of appointment or reappointment unless otherwise specified by ordinance or statute. 3, allows flexibility for city council to waive provisions related to term limits, residency, or qualification for office as it deems necessary. 4, provides for repeal of inconsistent laws, severability of provisions, and an effective date upon passage and publication. The full text of this ordinance is available for examination in the city clerk's office, 100 North Port Street, Georgetown, Kentucky, 40324, or at www.georgetownky.gov. Introduced and publicly read for the first time December 10th, 2021.
Thanks, Tracy. Again, Devin and I talked about this at some length. We think the council already had the authority and the latitude to do this, but we thought it would be more comfortable from your all's perspective if we just specifically spelled that out in an ordinance for you. So that concludes our agenda. If anybody has any questions about 1 through 8, you may ask them. If they're not about 1 through 8, then I hope you all have a great weekend and a good rest of your Friday. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.